Hello, welcome to our viewers. Let's start in 5 minutes. Let's just wait for others to come in. Um, it's 3:55. I promised you that we'll start at 4 p.m. I'm using a StreamYard platform, so I cannot see who's coming in. So it would be I would appreciate it if you would comment on the comment box a hi or a hello so that I know who's in the stream. Hi Rona and Manda, thank you for joining. I see that we're 8 people now. I hope the people who's watching are could drop a line so I know who's in the room. Hi Yel. Hi, Tita Didi. Thank you for coming. We'll start in 4 minutes. Oh, 3 minutes now. So it's 3:57. We'll start in 3 minutes. Again, I'm using StreamYard and I'm not on Facebook Live, the app, so I can't see people who are watching. So please drop a line so I know you're there. I would appreciate to see your comments so I know who's there. Hi, Nene! Tagal na natin di nagkikita. Thank you for coming. Okay, we're starting in 2 minutes, and I see 11 people are watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving interest in my story. Um, Again, I would appreciate if you leave a comment so I know who's there because I cannot see right now who are watching. So that I could also um, say a shout out whoever's there. Hey Raj. Thank you, Roger. Hi Aline from Cavite. Wow, that's far from here. I'm from San Juan, so hi Miss Iris. Thank you. Okay, we'll start in 30 seconds. That's how prompt we are. So before we start, again, thank you for watching. I would appreciate if you leave a comment so I know I have an idea who the people watching are. Hi, Ate Adi. Thank you for coming. Okay, it's 4 p.m. Okay, let's start. So, thank you. Thank you for coming. Magandang hapon. Wait, I'll show myself. Um, there. So, there, you can see me now. Magandang hapon po. I am Jaymee Duran for those who don't know me. And I am a person living with a mental health illness. I have been diagnosed with major depressive disorder for over 11 years now, but I have been experiencing symptoms even still when I was a young kid. I have come a long way since I was first diagnosed with depression. Let me share with you my story in this journey. I will share with you my struggles, but not only that, I will share with you the things that helped me achieve recovery. I say recovery, but just to be honest with you, depression really never goes away. I still have episodes up to now, but what has changed is my ability to manage it and live with it. So here is a slide of me when I was 7 years old during a recital for voice at the music center in Bene. So I studied in Alabang in Benedictine Abbey School. So there's a picture of me singing. So even if I generally looked happy, I remember being a sad kid all my life. I was the quiet one in school, and maybe that was the reason why all the teachers loved me because I was well behaved. Little did we all know the real reason why I was very quiet and barely talked in school was because something was already wrong with me. I remember that my prep teacher wrote in my report card that I am not sociable and does not make friends with others. So, di ba in school, merong mga report cards pag PTC, parent teacher conferences, and then the teacher writes comments. Parang, syempre, pag prep, hindi pa masyadong graded na academic. So, yung social skills ko daw, very, hindi man very bad, pero hindi rin very good. So, I am not sociable and does not make friends with others daw ako. So, I would isolate myself and stay in the library instead of running around with other kids. I was around 9 years old when I had my first encounter with self-injury. It was also around that age when I would have suicidal thoughts. I know I was just 9 years old then, and I don't really know where I learned that behavior. Since 9 years old until now, at 32, I am still struggling with self harm and suicidal thoughts. I didn't know about depression or anything about mental health until I had to see a psychiatrist in 2009. So that was 11 years ago. During that period of my life, I had crying spells every day. I barely slept and I couldn't stop hurting myself. I felt that my life was going to waste at that time. And I realized that I didn't want that. So, I was just fresh out of college 2009 to 2008 ako graduate, 2009. Parang puro mali na lang. And then I realized parang sayang yung buhay. So what I did, I sent my friend who was then a BS psychology student a message and told her that I was accepting her offer to get help. So I had this friend, so she was a BS psychology major. Since psychology major siya, alam niya yung mga about mental health. So ako wala akong alam about mental health noon kasi hindi pa ganun ka taas ang awareness on mental health in 2009. But she's told me a lot of times that we could get help. So I told her that I'm accepting her offer to get help. She then arranged everything from setting an appointment to a doctor to driving me to the hospital. She didn't disclose what type of doctor we were going to, probably because she thought that I might back out in seeing the doctor. It was then the only thing it was only when I entered the clinic that I saw what kind of doctor I was seeing. So nakita ko dun sa nameplate ng doctor nakasulat, psychiatrist. So nagulat ako, wow, a psychiatrist. So I thought, psychiatric case na pala ako. Back then, the only thing I knew about psychiatry was what I've seen in sci-fi TV shows. So favorite ko yung X-Files. So I'm an X-File. So sinusundan ko yun nung bata pa ako. Until now, I still watch episodes. So naisip ko, yung X-Files, there were crazy, uncontrollable people who were tied up in straitjackets and locked up in mental hospitals. Yun lang ang alam ko about psychiatry. So these perceptions on what psychiatry is all about did not help at all. Buti na lang, good thing, the doctor who saw me then, Dr. Lou Kerubin, turned out to be a very kind and professional lady. On that first encounter with her, she let me tell her about what I was feeling and just let me tell her my story. After a comprehensive interview, she gave her diagnosis. So sabi niya, I had major depressive disorder with anxiety. She prescribed some medication and said she'd see me in 2 weeks. That started my journey to recovery. While I was in Dr. Lou's care, I have been admitted to the psychiatric ward 5 times for several reasons, usually because of my suicidal ideations and self-injurious behavior. I would see her twice a month during the first year of therapy. By 2010, I began seeing another professional, a psychotherapist, Dr. Inge Del Rosario, who saw me weekly for therapy. My visits to my psychiatrist was then reduced to once a month sessions where she just managed my medications. Both my psychiatrist and my psychotherapist worked hand in hand in co-managing my condition. Okay, so that was from 2009 until about 2017. Okay? So, sige. So, I see people coming in. Thank you for coming, Paula and Risa. Thank you. So again, I don't see who's coming in. So if you would want to have a shout out, leave a message on the comment box and I could say hi to you. And then later on, after I give my story, after the storytelling, there will be a chance to ask me questions. Okay? So moving on. So my breakthrough moment in my recovery process happened in 2017. That year, Dr. Lou had to go overseas and I was transferred to the care of Dr. Angela Cuadro, or as we lovingly call her, Doc Quads. I started seeing her for both psychotherapy and for management of my medications during the latter part of that year. On the first year of seeing her, we would meet weekly for psychotherapy until we tapered it off to twice a month. Sometimes we would still see each other every week when needed, like when there are obvious stressors happening and I would need extra support. So ngayon, every 2 weeks kami, like now during the lockdown, I still see her every 2 weeks. So online na ngayon. Pero we still see each other every 2 weeks. So, pero kapag may obvious stressor na nangyayari, kunyari may probable changes in my life, kanya na medyo mahirap mag-cope with, she would suggest that I will see her every week. So, at this point, I am going to share with you one of my favorite stories of all time. So here is a picture of me. So that's me, the one in polo shirt, and then that's Jen, the one in the kitty headband. So she's the curator of DYM, or Depressione y Mania, and then that's the Quads in blue, the floral blue dress. So that's Jen, the curator of DYM, the Quads, and me during the opening night of Depressione y Mania. So it was in October 2017 when I was able to join Depression ni Mania. It was an art exhibit made up of artists who were struggling from any form of mental illness, either diagnosed or not. During our opening night, the quads showed up and viewed our exhibit. She looked at each and every artwork and interviewed the artists present during the event. She witnessed firsthand how art can be helpful in a person's struggle with a mental condition. I was very touched that the quads was able to attend then. It meant a lot to me that my psychiatrist, my care provider was there and supported what I was doing. So, biruin mo yon, doktor ko siya, psychiatrist ko siya, pero nag-attend siya nung art exhibit namin ng opening night. So, hindi naman required yon sa kanila na gawin yon, pero she showed that extra support for me by showing up in our art exhibit. So, sobrang natuwa talaga ako nun. On our next therapy session after the show, we talked about her observations from the event. She then encouraged me to hold art sessions for her other patients since I had talent in that field. That was very empowering for me. I have been giving the arts for well-being sessions for more than a year already. I started giving the monthly sessions last June 2018. It started as sessions only for her patients. Eventually, I partnered with Child Fam Possibility Psychosocial Services and we opened it up for the general public. I am not an art therapist by profession or even a psychologist, but my experience with my depression and how I've been coping have been of great help in connecting with what other people are undergoing. So until now, I still give art sessions. So before the lockdown happened, I give it every month, every third Saturday of the month at the clinic of Child Fam in West Ave. But since there's a lockdown, since we're in quarantine, I offered it online. So now we do it weekly. Every Saturday, I offer it to people. So I have a group of 3 who goes to me on online. Excuse me. And then we do the art sessions online. And then every Thursday with my art group, we offer it to frontliners. So, okay. Moving on, up to now, the quads would literally prescribe me to her patients. She would write my name on a prescription sheet and would also put support group, art, music, and mindfulness. Her patients would then contact and reach out to me. I organized a support group for us and we are now known as #QuadSquad. So, yun yung name ng aming group. So, shout out kung meron man nanonood dyan from Quad Squad. Hello. Hello to you. So, we have an online community through Facebook Messenger and communicate through that platform. Having a support group has been of great help in my having depression. Knowing that I am not alone in my struggle through depression or in my struggle to mental health is such a reassurance. But before, it was hard for me to understand what I was going through. In 2009, when I was first diagnosed with depression, there were no support groups or organizations that advocated for mental health. I didn't know who to approach about my condition. I couldn't understand what was happening because I had no one to talk to about it except my psychiatrist. When I saw others who were struggling like me, I saw things objectively and realized that what I was going through is real. My feeling very sad and hopeless were actually real symptoms of depression. And there were real, actual people who also felt the same way. This reality helped me accept my condition and made it easier for recovery. So let's say hi first to the people who came in since I last said hi. So, hi Senya, hi Sarah Jean Gamboa, hi Ate Edlene, and Miss Tess and Ate Shine. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Later, I will open the floor for questions if you have questions for me. Okay, next slide. Mindfulness. Another thing that helped me is mindfulness. Tama-tama. Hi, Miss Tess. This is about my mindfulness experience in Friendly Care. So, tama-tama lang dating nyo. Another thing that helped me is mindfulness. The quad sort of required me to attend these programs offered by Friendly Care Foundation. The first course I was able to take on this topic was the Mindfulness-Based Wellness for Stress Reduction, or MWSR, which I took in July to August 2018. The next one was the Mindfulness-Based Cognitive Therapy, or MBCT, which I took from September to November 2019. From these courses, I learned that mindfulness is making that extra effort to be in the present, to avoid ruminating about the past and worrying about the future. When we ruminate on the past, that's what actually depression is all about. When we worry about the future, that's what anxiety is. Mindfulness is about staying at the present moment, to live in the now with acceptance and curiosity. Another thing about mindfulness is that it is the practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. Just accept whatever your thought is at that moment. If you're feeling a certain way, just accept it. It will pass. Feelings are energies that need to be spent. No use beating yourself up if you feel a negative emotion. Just let it pass. As Doc Quads would always say, feel bad properly. So, this is feeling bad properly. So, feel bad properly sounds very sadistic at first. Who would want to go through pain and suffering? But if you look at it more closely, it is actually what mindfulness is all about. During the prehistoric times, the bad feelings are usually associated with physical threat. It could mean that there are other animals that could eat us, or there are hostile tribes, or famine, among other things. Because of these, we learned to avoid pain and suffering as there were big chances that we could die. In today's times, however, the natural aversion to the bad feelings is not needed anymore because more often than not, we won't die from these feelings anymore. There are no more saber-toothed tigers in our environment that would eat us alive. Mindfulness allows us to face the bad feelings in a non-judgmental way. When we go through the feeling, we actually learn from them, and they dissipate into our system and could no longer hurt us. So moving on, I would be telling you a bit about what mindfulness is as what I learned from my experience. So, meron pa bang nanonood? Can I see who are still in the room? Are you still interested to learn what mindfulness is about and how it relates to my experience? So, sige. This is the next the next series of slides will be coming from the Facebook page, The Latest Kate. So I got this from the page Latest Kate. So I got this pictures from an artist called The Latest Kate. Okay. So here's a summary of how to do mindfulness. I got this guide from the Facebook page The Latest Kate. Mindfulness helps us pinpoint the thoughts and feelings that could spiral us into hopelessness and depression. When we practice mindfulness, we are able to catch these feelings and we can prevent spiraling down into the dark hole. The overall theory of the exercise of mindfulness is to acknowledge the thoughts and emotions and separate them from yourself. First thing to do is to acknowledge the feeling. We name the feeling. My old therapist would help me identify it by letting me choose among these 5 main feelings. So she would say, are you mad, sad, glad, ashamed, or afraid? Okay? So those are the 5 main feelings. Tapos, other feelings daw are just uh, a combination of other feelings. Kunyari, confused, that's a mixture of feelings. Upset or mad. Wait, sabi ko na pala yung mad. So, ganon. Next is, then we observe it within our system. Where does it show in my body? How does it feel like? Is it hot? Is it painful? What is the shape? Observe it for as long as you want and be curious about it. So, kung naalala ninyo, if you watch my other Facebook Live on the page of Mindfulness at Friendly Care, I talked about this. So, you think about where the feeling is showing in your body. And then you see how does it feel like? Is it hot? Is it painful? Anong shape niya? Ganyan. Next step is to observe it. Next step is to sit with the feeling for as long as you want. This is actually what Doc Quads calls feel bad properly. We sit with the feeling and try to accept it for whatever it is. No judgment. So, pag lumabas na siya, don't, wag mong sabihin, ay ano ba to, galit na naman ako, ay ano ba to, mainit na naman ulo ko. Don't judge it. Just sit with it quietly and accept it without judgment. It is important that you do not identify with the feeling, but rather treat it as a visitor passing through. Remember, I am not sad, rather I am experiencing sadness. So sabi dyan sa slide, I am not sad. I am experiencing sadness. So hindi ka si sad, ikaw ay experiencing sadness only. So your emotion is not equal to you. Second to the last step is to think through it. This is the time that I would journal my thoughts about the story behind the emotion. If you can, identify the triggers of the emotions and where they may have showed up before. This practice would help us notice patterns and spiraling thoughts. And then the last step is to do this as often as necessary. This will help us realize that the emotions are just fleeting and are temporary. Mindfulness is a practice, and we get better at things that we practice every day. So if you do this often, if you do the mindfulness practice of identifying your feelings, so naming the feeling, and then writing it down, being curious about it, sitting with it, and then just accepting it, that will help you notice whenever it happens again. So that's my short course on mindfulness. I hope you liked it. Okay, moving on. There are different modes of therapy that a person with depression can go through to get better. In my case, they were art, mindfulness, and social support. I would also say that having a purpose in life could be very helpful too. In my case, I found my purpose in life through these aspects that have also served as my therapy. It was just last year, in 2019, that Doc Quads helped me realize that my purpose in life is to offer sessions on well-being through the arts. Through the the arts for well-being sessions that I offered, and sharing about mindfulness to other people, especially to my fellow strugglers, I found my purpose. These things have helped me get up on difficult days and remind me that I still have something important to share to the world. I was asked before that if I could live my life again and I had the option to live it without depression, would I choose that? My answer was no. My depression has taught me a lot of things. It has taught me to feel more. It has taught me to live more deeply. And it has taught me to be more compassionate. More Most people would think that depression is a bad thing, that depression is a curse. In my case, I actually think it is a blessing. Through my depression, I was able to meet kindred spirits and other wonderful people who have helped me get out of myself and become a better person. I cannot fully say that I have overcome my depression. I still have episodes every now and then. I still go to therapy every 2 weeks. I still have days when I can't get out of bed. But I've come a long way. I've come a long way from when I was first diagnosed 11 years ago. With the right kind of therapy, social support, and for some medication, depression can be managed. For me, I just take it one day at a time. I just continue to hold on to hope that when the sun rises tomorrow, it will be a new day and it is another chance to start anew. To end my talk, to end my storytelling this afternoon, let me share with you a favorite quote of mine by the Jesuit father James Martin. He said that Christians are a people who know sadness but live in hope. Again, I repeat that. Christians are a people who know sadness but live in hope. So thank you very much for listening and for letting me share my story with all of you. So thank you. So that's my cat, Migo. I drew that. So I'm now opening the floor for questions. If you have questions for me, we have 15 minutes to accommodate your questions, or if you want to share. If you want to share anything, I will read them out so that the people watching this stream could hear it. So if you have questions, just put them on the comment box and I'll read it. Hi, Doc Titay. Thank you. Hi, Emak. So I'm going to shout out mga pumasok. Min V. Valentin, hi. Doc Const Yuchua, hello. Sabi niya, thank you for sharing your experience and these tips with great artwork. All the best. Thank you. So Doc Cons is a psychiatrist. If you need to consult, just look for his page online. Bagong-bagong page niya. So puntahan niyo lang siya if you need to consult. So Miss Lucy Fernandez, enjoying the great artworks now. So I'm just saying not all of the artworks in my PowerPoint are mine. This cat is definitely mine, but all the artworks, other artworks, some of them are not mine, okay? So there. Okay. Do you have questions? Hi, Mirai. She said, Jaymee, keep it up. Good job. Keep on planting kindness. Yes, that's our purpose, to keep on planting kindness. Thank you. Thank you, Tita Didi. Yes. Thank you also for coming. Do you have questions? You want to know anything about my experience of depression? Hi, Janelle and Daraman. So Manda has a question. What kind of psychotherapies have your psychiatrist did with you? May CBT ba? So CBT, that's for those who don't know, that's cognitive behavior therapy. So um sometimes my psychotherapist or my psychiatrist does CBT with me, but it's not strictly CBT. I will not get into technicalities with this because I am not a psychotherapist. I might get this wrong. You may just Google what CBT is. But she would sometimes do CBT with me, like thought records, thinking about the patterns, ganyan. So the thoughts, the behaviors, the feelings, but not strictly CBT. But sometimes she does CBT with me. So it's a mixture of different modalities. So Sarah Jean here, thank you for sharing. Miss Iris has a question. Jaymee, not my question, but I remember some parents had asked, what do they do when they notice their kids feeling sad? Okay, that's a good question, no? Though it's not from Miss Iris, but meron siyang phone-in question. So, when you notice your kids feeling sad, you just let them be sad. Huwag niyong sabihin yung, huwag kang malungkot, bawal malungkot, ganyan. So, huwag ganon. Kasi you're just, in the long run, the kid would just not learn how to feel. When we say na repress your emotions, hindi matututo yung bata na maging malungkot. So if we let them be sad, then they will learn how to be sad. Just probably make boundaries na hindi forever sad. But they will learn that, I think, when they get to experience the sadness, it will go away. Kasi I read somewhere, I forget where, but I read that feelings are energies that need to be spent. So when someone is sad and then pag naubos na niya yung sadness, magiging okay na rin sila. So that's it. So if you notice your kids feeling sad, you just sit with them and then you can ask them what's bothering you, ganyan. Pero wag na wag nyo silang sasabihan na wag kang malungkot. Kasi minsan sabihin natin na wag kang malungkot, we have all the good things we have, or sabihin mo na you don't have the right to be sad kasi maganda naman buhay natin, ganyan. But sad is a feeling and we don't, there's nothing wrong with being sad. It's a natural thing. So just let your kids be sad. So I hope I answered that question. Hi, Ate Ingrid. Thank you for watching. I have a question here from Maria Vicky Kabalitan. What is the first step of acceptance? Sanay ako marami kausap because of lockdown, feeling alone. What is the first step of acceptance? Okay, first step of acceptance, I guess, is when you don't have any more denials about it. I remember very, very vividly when I accepted that I had depression. It was also in 2017. So when we had that art exhibit, it opened up a lot of things within me. It opened up a lot of feelings. And it was then that I accepted that I had depression. So isipin nyo, I was diagnosed in 2009. It was only in 2017 that I accepted that I had depression. Noong una kasi I had denial sa parang, ano ba to, ganyan. I guess what helped me is psychoeducation. So when I got to learn about my depression, when I got to see other people who had depression, that was my first step of acceptance. And when I learned that depression is a real medical condition, That's how I learned how to accept my condition. So, totoo na mahirap ngayon because of lockdown. We may have feelings of being alone, but you just keep on reaching out. There are platforms now. There's instant messaging. You can PM other people if you feel alone. And if you are feeling depressed, there are hope lines available. You can call the NCMH hope line. So I could post it on the comment section later. If you need to talk to someone and you have no one to talk to, just call the hope line and they are there to help you. So from MJ Gamit, you're a strong woman. Thank you for sharing your story. It is nice to know that artworks could possibly help. A new idea to me. Keep it up. God bless you. Thank you, Ma'am MJ. So yes, artwork is really one of the modalities that could help with depression or with any mental condition or anything at all with loneliness, with feeling with other feelings. So artworks can really help. So I'm glad that you had that you picked that up from my talk. And then from Miss Tess, how are you doing this lockdown, Jamie? So, what a nice question. I'm doing okay, though syempre minsan nabobore na ako. I'm getting bored. But we find things to do. So now this is my project. I'm going to show you. This is my project. It's an old book and I'm drawing on the book. So this is my favorite page so far. So I'm drawing on the book. So it's going to be like a time capsule of the quarantine of COVID-19. So it's a 1981 book. It's a bedside diagnostic examination. So this is my quarantine project. So that's how I keep myself busy during the lockdown. So I'm doing okay because of my projects. So I hope you guys um do something to keep you busy during the lockdown. Okay, phone in question from the mom of Manda. What was the worst event that rattled you? I guess anything to do with my family. I'm very protective of my family, and when anything happens to them, I get stressed out. So I really hope that things just stay well for my family. But of course, we can't control bad things from happening. So the only thing I could do is to prepare myself and to manage the stresses. Okay, a comment. So I guess it's the last comment we're reading before we end the stream. So from Ate Adi, I think that's a very important advice or suggestion. Let your kids be sad when they feel sad. I agree, repression doesn't help. Feelings are supposed to be felt primarily. Yes, that's is a good yes, that's a thing that I learned myself because growing up I myself wasn't able to express my emotions very well. Um um so when I became an adult, it's still very hard for me to express my emotions. As I said in my other Facebook live 2 weeks ago, I admit that I don't have good a very well managed emotional repertoire as of yet, but I'm working on it. So my therapist and I are working on me being able to express myself more and being able to identify feelings more. So that's it. So hi, Papa Greg. Thank you for watching. So there we go. Just a sort of plug. Um, I'm selling I'm selling sticker packs for this is a limited edition na lang kasi I'm just finishing my stock and then I'm going to release another another face because I'm going to change the color. But for this, I'm selling it for 120 pesos per pack. So you can message me on my page. So if you haven't liked it yet, I hope you like my page. It's JMEAD Arts Factory. So you can order sticker packs from me. We can figure out how to do the payment and how to do the delivery during this lockdown. So there. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening, and I hope you got to learn things from my sharing, and I hope that things that helped me could also help you. Pero syempre iba-iba tayo bawat tao, and I hope you just get to um to find out what works for you. So I wish you all the best, and I wish you to be safe during this quarantine time. I know it's GCQ starting tomorrow, but let's still stay on the safe side and stay at home and stay safe. Okay? So bye and keep safe.